Okay, so today we're going to talk about packaging an InDesign file and also some basic pre-flighting. So you have an InDesign file that you've created and you want to send it to a printer for printing, and you want to make sure all of your links and fonts make it there and that your file's been set up correctly. So before we package it, just some basic pre-flighting here. Right off the bat, I can look down here, my little pre-flighting bar, it says there's an error. And then I look in my links palette and I see there's a little question mark there. So I'm missing a link. It looks like page 4 Travis is missing. So I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to go to this icon, go to link. And that's going to take me there. So I click that. It zooms right in on the preview of Travis. He's missing. So with him selected, I'm going to do Command D. I'm really big on using the keys. So Command D for place. That's going to bring me here. I'm going to have to look for it. Looks like we're looking for that page 4 Travis. And there it is. PSD. Open. And the error is gone, so we're good there. Okay. Let's zoom back a little bit. The next thing I like to pre-flight is my swatches. So this document is designed to be printed CMYK. It's not going to be printed with spot colors. So I want to make sure that all the colors in my palette are set to CMYK. And I see here that I have one that is RGB. So I want to fix that. So I'm going to, you can see by the icon here, even if it's named something different, I can always tell by the icons here is CMYK and this is RGB. So I'm going to pop that open, and right here in color mode, I'm going to go CMYK, and since I have name with color value checked, it updates automatically to the CMYK values there. RGB images can be okay for printers. Depends on their image processors and how they handle RGB images, but it's risky, so I always try to make sure that I'm thorough about this. So no RGBs, change them to CMYK, and we're good. The next thing I want to check is my margins. So I'll look here on this page. We have an 1/8 of an inch margin here. Look at the rulers. You can see that's about it. There's your 1/8 of an inch mark. That's not really enough for me. I always want to use 1/4 of an inch, or try to shoot for that for keeping all of my text and pertinent information within the safe zone. So I'm going to change that margin by going to, maybe I did that a little too fast. Okay, layout, margins and columns. Then right here, I'm going to bump that up from an 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch. Say okay. Looks like there's no critical information going outside the margins, so we're good on that. Okay, now how about bleed? We have bleed set to an 1/8 of an inch, which is good. That's typical for most printers. But I noticed this blue doesn't go all the way to the bleed, so I'm going to go ahead and fix that too. Let that snap. All right, got that taken care of. And I also see there's no slug. The slug is this outer area where your trim marks and some printer information will go. And that's important to some printers, so I'm going to go ahead and add a slug by going to File and then back to the document setup. Here I see slug is 0, so I'm going to fix that. I'm going to change that to 1/2 an inch. What I like to use. Make sure that all sides have that 1/2 inch slug. We'll say okay. There's our slug. So I'm gonna, before I forget, I'm gonna hit Command S just to make sure I don't lose anything that I've done. Okay, I think that covers the basics that I would need to pre-flight. So we're ready to package. So we'll come up here to File, go to Package. Can kind of look around in here. I see there's no RGB images, no errors, nothing that really stands out. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Package. Little instructions file, most people just leave that alone. Let it be. So continue. I'm going to save it to the desktop. It's added the word folder to the end to let us know that it's being packaged. This is what I use, fonts and the two links check boxes, one to copy them and one to keep them linked. It's up to you to make sure that the fonts you're packaging can be legally sent to other people in this way. I also like to include an IDML file. This is for a printer that has an older version of InDesign that most often they'll be able to open this file instead. And then also a PDF. And you can even use your PDF presets. So I've got a preset that I use. This is called Signa PDF, but that puts bleed and trim and slug and all the things that most printers like to have. So I think we're ready to go. I'm going to hit package. We'll give it just a minute. And I'm going to close this window with Command W. Don't have to save it since this file is going to be trashed. This is the old file. Now, on my desktop, here is our packaged folder. Let's look inside. We see our original file format, InDesign. We have an IDML file here for older versions. And then we have our print-ready PDF where I used my preset. You can see the big white slug here, the trim marks, and looks like we're good on bleed and all that good stuff. So we'll close that out. There's the little instructions file if necessary. We have our fonts, we have our links, so that should take care of it. That's all for now. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you soon. We hope you benefited from the ZebraTips tutorial. The next time you need printing, graphic design, direct mail, web design, or social media, contact the experts at Zebra Graphics.